I don't care about the last enemy. Skill Striker. When dealing critical damage to physical skills, debuff the target. Increase the duration of sleep, fear, and stun. Or Force Lurker. When dealing critical damage to a target in Yana growth, inflicts stun. And again, look at that refresh. It's basically gotten really expensive too. So we'll take Skill Striker. I don't like the fact that you're like, you know, getting such expensive for like, you know, rerolls, but well, this is how it is. The crossing of the river Sando. Beyond a faint but toxic mist, a vast crimson river comes into view. It is said that on the third day after the person dies, they are to cross the river Sando. And if I remember correctly, it's been about 3 days and nights since we've been on this underworld route, so this must be it. Despite facing numerous difficulties, Yoon Gil has never felt as exhausted and weary as he does now. Oh. Bastard made me forget my skill, you know, my skills for a moment. That's a bad miss. Yes, I want that. I want the magic defense. I probably should see if I could, you know, attack across the river there, but whatever. I forgot about, you know, the fact that I'm like, you know, not able to, you know, necessarily do that all the time. Damn it! This one's attacks are tough. Then the roof is snaring, so blah blah blah. Take that. Take this. The Underworld Tiger, what are you? Heal block. Before its attack that hinders recovery, the target cannot recover HP for a short time. Armor break and charge. So lots of disgusting stuff in this guy. Down he goes. Wound twist enhances life strength, greatly increases bleeding, or indomitable stance. Using a stance will grant temporary indomitability. We want this. Down it goes. That was painful. Down it goes. I need to get magic defense up now a little bit. And that's not going to help it, but we'll take it anyways. Path up there. The Feared Snake. Attack 3 times to inflict bleeding. Sell. I said I needed magic defense, and there it is. It's going to reduce my HP and my physical defense a little bit, though. But I'll take it. Caltrop Bomb. I guess I want this. Another one of these guys again. Down it goes. The last enemy, and the last box. I mean, I guess. My damage goes down, but accuracy and damage from magic go up a little bit. Why not? We'll take it. There's the alcohol. Blade and Chimes. When defeating a target, first chance to gain a buff. Trance. When dealing critical damage with magic skills, the remaining cooldown of all skills is reduced by 20%. And permanently increase your maximum HP by 6. When taking damage, 20% to recover HP. I definitely want Anguish Appetite. The Answers of the Underworld. Far off, a giant door painted red can be seen from Chogun Gates, the passage to the Underworld, written on a signboard. Yoon Gil takes a deep breath, adjusts his crumpled hat, and draws his missing toothed sword. At long last, the end of this arduous journey. Not a whole lot to say here, but I guess that's needed. Perfect time putting that on. I got a lot of accuracy. Let's get some speed just for the last one. Oh, lots of stuff over here. Down it goes. Not sure attacking that guy is a smart thing to do, but you know, whatever. Where's the boss? Where's the gate to the Underworld? In front of the Chogan Gates, numerous spirits and underworldly creatures stand guard. Among them is a strange figure emanating a particularly chilling dark presence. Clad in black and clutching a thick ledger detailing the lives of mortals in one hand, the figure is unmistakably the head Grim Custodian, the chief of all Grim Custodians and the gatekeeper of Chogun Gates. Yoon Gil takes a deep breath and proclaims, "Hear me, minions of the Underworld." His shout is so powerful that some of the lesser spirits are burnt to death on the spot. I present myself as Yoon Gil, Imperial Investigator of the Spectral and Supernatural. I've come in search of the woodsman who hails from Jiangsing Village, who met his demise at the hands of the Centipede Queen. Show us the way to him at once. Lower your voice first, fool. The deceased are dead, but not deaf. The head Grim Custodian scowls Yoon Gil while slamming her book of life. Do you even realize what you're doing? Daring to step foot in the Underworld as a living being, attacking Underworld's minions and causing great commotion. Are you not afraid of losing your life here, mortal? For living beings to perish is a natural order, yet while alive, it is only right to fulfill one's duty to the utmost. Answer me now. Where is the Wisman from Jangsun village who died last month? He must have passed through these very gates. And Yoon Gil would have been the easier choice, but watching over a dead who passed through the gates is also the head Grim Custodian's duty. She flips open her book and studies the pages intently. The Wisman you speak of is currently undergoing trials in perhaps one of the 7 hells. Once the trial begins, there's no stopping to it. That is the law of the Underworld. You would do better to abandon this futile quest and return to the realm of the living. But convincing Yoon Gil is indeed hopeless, as he is well known as the greatest trumpet starter under the heavens. Who is the Grim Custodian who brought the Wisman to the Underworld? Having perished in a strange place, no doubt the Custodian traveled his demises, escorted his soul here. Fine. Bring them before me. I will summon them as a witness to the murder case back to the world of the living. I beg your pardon? A living being bring a Grim Custodian, one of us, to the living world? Nonsense, you must be out of your mind. If you won't bring the said Grim Custodian, then I must insist on meeting the great King Yama, who issued this Reaper's order. Open these gates immediately. You! How dare you utter His Majesty's name? This is an outrage. The irritated but usually patient Grim Custodian suddenly bursts forth in anger, unable to stay silent any longer at this strange intruder. Guards, seize this intruder immediately. Stitch his mouth shut and silence him at once. Alright, what are you all about? A little bit later. We're gonna kill stuff and heal up. There's a Grim Custodian again. The Grim Portal, what's this do? Summon minions, summon Underworld Pawn, summons a random Underworld Pawn. So basically it's a summoner. Okay. Is this the right way of fighting, I wonder? Whoops, I'm on fire. I'll deal it. Teleports away. Ow. As the head Grim Custodian falls, her black robe settles softly to the ground, and all that remains of her. But then from the pile comes a stir, and from within, one pitch black obsidian dragon and 4 smaller dragons emerge, with cries and shrieks. The 4 smaller dragons protect the black dragon, so you must defeat these little ones first. Okay, where's the, little dragons then? So where's the Grim Alternate, I wonder? There we go. Grim Alternate. As a fiery Grim Alternate falls, flames as hot as lava spew from the obsidian dragon's breath are extinguished. Alright, so that's going to weaken it. You can die. There's another one. Ow. Great, teleports. Fruit of flames nonetheless. Ow. As Hexagrim Ulcer falls, the Obsidian Giant's top knot, which has been wearing off field, drops to the ground. There's another one. Ow. As the bloodthirsty Grim Ulcer falls, the flesh-tearing teeth of the Assumed Dragon falls out one by one. So how powerful are you right now? I'm probably kill it at this point. Ow. Ow. I'll come back to fight. I just want to kill this off this alternate, wherever it is. There it is. Great, it's got sturdy armor. Oh, I'm almost dead. As the armor Grim Ulcer falls, the Ascending Dragon skills Hara's armor are plucked away. Good time to heal. As Yoon Gil subdues the head Grim Custodian's dragon form, he again shouts loudly. You fiends, do you see now? I will not stop at anything. Lead me to King Yama now, without hesitation. Enough. You dare continue to speak his name in vain. Yoon Gil draws his sword and points it at the crowd of Underworld minions. The sight of the fierce blade makes even a dead shiver. Listen here. Summon every demon and wraith from the Underworld. We must tear this wretched limb from limb and cast him into the most hellish pit of fire. Just then, a radiant light pours down from the sky. A sudden, yet gentle scent of peach wafts through the Underworld as a fair celestial maiden makes her entrance. Mysterious celestial being. Citizens of the Underworld, please listen close. Although the fair maiden's mouth barely moves, all in the Underworld can hear her melodious voice. The tumult of the Underworld has reached even the heavens, so I, the guardian of the Celestial Order, have decided as an envoy to share a message. Upon hearing Guardian of Celestial Order, all the Underworld's functionaries immediately prostrate themselves on the ground in deference. While I am aware of the general circumstances, I allow the head Grim Custodian to restate the full account. The head Grim Custodian stands straight and begins. On the second day of the first lunar month, a ruffian named Yoon Gil appears unannounced at the Chongo gates. He has caused unruly disturbances and commotions ever since. Not only has this living man trespassed into the underworld realm, but he even attempts to drag a commissar of the Underworld back to the world of the living. This is an unforgivable transgression against the very order of the heavens and the earth, I implore you. The Divine Guardian of the Celestial Order, puzzled, asks, Strange indeed. How can the entry of this human into the Underworld be considered a sin? The head Grim Custodian, slightly flustered, regains her composure and replies, Fish belong in water, and wild beasts roam the mountains. That is indeed the natural order of things. A living person stepping foot into the world of the dead disturbs the natural order. Thus, it can certainly be declared a serious transgression. The Guardian descends slowly from the heavens, listening closely. I ask you, Lady Custodian, if the great King Yama, supreme ruler of the Underworld, were to command you to capture a Celestial Guardian, known to have stolen from the Underworld, what would you do? Would you say, the Guardian is in the heaven above, I cannot go there and do your bidding, and just sit back with your hands idle? From ancient times, filial piety is the foundation of all virtues, and loyalty is the foremost of the Sangang, the three pillars of social harmony. Is not the only dignity for living their human king? Although he is young and brash and arrogant, stubborn and loud-mouthed to no end, indeed so ignorant and insolent, he is not wrong as a subject of his majesty to risk his life in order to fulfill his king's duty. The head Grim Custodian, unabashed, retorts loudly. In the past 50,000 years, never has a living being dragged an Underworld's custodian to the world of living. If summoning the custodian as a witness does not violate the laws of the Underworld, nor is it forbidden by the Underworld's king, then what is the issue? To say it cannot be done is ultimately your own reluctance. You dare speak with such slurs, Divine Guardian. Even the blazing flames of the Underworld seem to be silent as the situation becomes more tense by minute. Respected head Grim Custodian, my good lady, as an envoy to heavens, I implore you. Simply report today's events to the great king. Is that not also your duty? At last, the head Grim Custodian, having nothing more to say, stands silent, her face full of fury. I will report this matter to the great king Yama. However, if there's anything even slightly amiss with the heaven and the Underworld's laws, you, the Divine Guardian, must take vow to take full responsibility. Uttering this, the head Grim Custodian returns her troops and enters the Shogun gates. At last, Yoon Gil, seemingly relieved, sighs. What lies ahead is unknown, but for now, his months-long journey seems to have concluded. Looking up at the Divine Guardian of the Celestial Order, he sees a kind smile paired with a stern gaze, truly a deity governing heaven's law and order. I thank you. The Divine Guardian, as if amused, looks down at Yoon Gil and smiles softly. To hear such words from you, really, what a surprise, not unpleasant. Then the Divine Guardian pulls out a blue orb from within her robes. A brilliant light erupts from the orb, enveloping the Guardian as they ascend together back to the heavens. Left behind in their place is only the gentle fragrance of peaches. Having returned to Hangyang, Yoon Gil recounts the events to the king and bided his time for the perfect moment. As midnight approached, only the king and Yoon Gil remained waiting in a Gyeonggon hall. Under the moonlit sky, clouds gathered ominously, and with an ear-shattering roar, lightning struck the heart of the palace. Then, as the ground rumbled slowly, ear-splitting sounds of flutes and gongs filled the palace. The fluttering of flags and the marks of thousands of footsteps filled the air. Though unseen, hundreds of ghostly troops had already entered the palace grounds. At that moment, two figures emerged from the pitch-dark fog. The foremost figure, with his overwhelming dignity and grand appearance, was indeed Yama, the sole ruler and king of the Underworld. Another figure stood nearby, clad in black ceremonial robes, and clutching a thick book of the deceased, undoubtedly the Grim Custodian of the Underworld. The attendants of the Underworld lingered briefly before departing, their conversation unrecorded and shrouded in mystery. However, judging by the fact that Hyang Rang was recorded as the culprit of the Wisman incident, one can guess the conversation that day had went well indeed. This concludes what was the legendary tale of Yoon Gil, the bold soul who dared to bring forth King Yama from the depths of the Underworld. Alright, so there's Mangui, the first story with the first character. And there we go. The Answers of the Underworld end. Alright, well. The rogue is now available. So, I'll probably do a run at least with the rogue if I get a chance to. And I'll probably complete again with the Shaman Apprentice to sort of at least show off her completion of the story. But now this is basically available, so enemy HP and accuracy are increased by 10%. Upon death, story creation is unavailable, so basically it's pure rolling at this point. And all that's basically done. Alright, hope you guys all enjoyed that run through of Mangui. At the very least, I plan to do at least 3 more runs of this game. One of each of the new characters, one of the shaman. But that's it for now, so take care.